Page 269, we're looking at lessons 5.1 and 5.2 review. Number 1, how can you determine the number of solutions of a system by looking at the equations? So first of all, we would want to solve the equations for y, get it into slope-intercept form, which is y equals mx plus b. M is our slope, and b is the y-intercept. And then once we've done that, if they have different slopes, there's going to be one solution, which means the lines are going to intersect in one point. If they have the same slope and different y-intercepts, there's no solution, which means the lines are parallel. They're never going to intersect. And if they have the same slope and same y-intercept, is infinitely many solutions because they're the same line as each other. So number 2, they're giving us some equations and they're asking how many solutions this has. So the first thing, probably would want to solve both of these for y. So the first equation, we can subtract 2x on both sides. And then divide by -9. When we do that, a negative divided by negative would be a positive. And I would recommend just keeping those as fractions. The decimals are not going to be nice for those. On the other equation, we subtract 4x on both sides, and then divide everything by -6. The first fraction we can reduce. We can also reduce the second fraction. And the question is just how many solutions does this have? So they're not actually asking us to figure out what the solution is. If you'll notice here, the slopes are different, and so that means we have one solution. Number 3, they want us to graph the system of equations and find the solution. So the first equation is not solved for y, so we probably would want to subtract 1 on both sides. And then since there's no fractions, we could just put 0, 1, and 2 in place of x. Finding 3 different points is good to make sure we've got the correct line. You could also start out with your y-intercept, which is -1, and then use your slope. Slopes change in y over change in x. You could go up 2 and over 1 from that point. So 0, -1, 1, 1, and 2, 3 would be points on that line. The second equation does have a fraction in it. So 0, 2, which is our y-intercept. Since there is a fraction, whatever the denominator is, I'm going to use that as another point, another x value here. Half of 2 is 1, and then 1 plus 2 is 3. And then we'll use the next multiple of that denominator. So next multiple of 2 is 4. Half of 4 is 2. 2 plus 2 is 4. So these would be the points. And bring this over a little closer so we can see both of them at the same time. So this would be our first line. This would be our second line. And my lines aren't the greatest here, but oh, I graphed that wrong. On our table, we actually see the answer, which is 2, 3. So 2, 3 is where these lines intersect. That would be the solution to this system of equations. Number 4, if one equation is y equals negative 3x plus 7, which equation gives the system no solution? So we talked about earlier, no solution means that the lines are parallel, which means they have the same slope but different y-intercepts. So choice B, I can see the slope is 3. The slope of this line is negative 3. So those are different slopes that would have one solution, so that doesn't work. This one, the slope is 1/3. So that's a different slope. That doesn't work. The other two are not quite solved for y. So the first one, if we add 7, would be negative 3x plus 7. Those are identical to each other. That would be infinitely many solutions. So we're down to our final hope here. And if you solve that for y, would be negative 3x plus 5. So those have the same slope, but they have different y-intercepts. So choice C would be our answer for that problem. Number 5, Finn bought 12 movie tickets. Student tickets are $4, adult tickets are $8, and Finn spent a total of $60. And they want us to write and graph a system of equations to find the number of student and adult tickets Finn bought. So one thing is that he bought 12 tickets. So we could let X represent our student tickets. And we could let Y represent the adult tickets. Okay, we can more formally define those variables, but he bought 12 tickets altogether, so we know X plus Y, the total that he bought, is 12 tickets. And then as far as the cost goes, student tickets were $4 each, so 4 times X, it would be the cost for the student tickets. And adult tickets are $8 each, so that would be 8Y for the adult tickets. And that equals $60 altogether. So what we could do here, once we got our equations, we could solve both of these for Y. So the first one, if you subtract X, that'd be negative X plus 12 or negative 1X plus 12. If you put a 0 in, that would be 12. If you put a 1 in, that would be 11. With the graph that they've given us, 10 is the maximum Y value, so actually none of these points are on the graph so far. If we put a 2 in, that would be 10. If we put a 3 in, that would be 3 would give us 9, and 4 would end up giving us 8. So 210 would be at the top, 39 and 48. And then for the other one, if you subtract 4x first, and then divide everything by 8. This one has a fraction in it, so you might want to do a 0, 2, and 4. And I didn't give myself much room for working these. If you put a 0 for x, would be 7.5. 2n would be 6.5. 4n would be 5.5. And this one, this is kind of not working quite as nicely just because we had a decimal on the y-intercept also. So it might actually work better in this case to use just odd numbers. So if you put a 1 in would be 7. If you put a 3 in would be 6. If you put a 5 in would be 5. And if you graph these and try to get a straight line as much as possible, the intersection here would be at 9, 3, which means 9 student tickets and 3 adult tickets. And you can check that. That does add up to 12 tickets, and then if you work it out, that should be a total of $60. Number 6, what value of m gives the system infinitely many solutions? If we take our first equation, and let's try to get that solved for y, get it in slope-intercept form. So if you add x on both sides, there's no sign in front of the 32, so that's positive. You can put a 1 in front of the x, and then to solve for y, we would need to divide everything by 4. So if you look at this and look at their equation, for infinitely many solutions, the slope and the y-intercept are the same. It means the equations are identical, so m would have to be equal to 1/4 for those to be infinitely many solutions. So this gives you a little bit of an idea of what we're doing in sections 1 and 2. Again, if you have opportunity, there are things you can do on Khan Academy website and on the Pearson Realize website to get more practice on these.